Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 488. I've made it back to Pennsylvania. I've got Zhenya in Kiev, and tonight we're going to continue giving you the full story and update, and it is still unfolding right this minute from what has been happening throughout the weekend, of course, with the coup d'etat, and you guys were with us, and we thank you for that. On Friday, we gave our opinions. On Saturday, our information was confirmed, and now you guys know if you've been watching the news and updates. We've got Prigozhin going to Belarus. You've got all these rumors of Wagner moving to Belarus, all this mess. Don't worry about any of that. We're going to get you completely updated on this Monday night. I can tell you today, Putin has made another speech. Right now, they are in late, middle of the night meetings there in Russia for the defense. And it is just madness what continues to happen in the circus that is based there in the Kremlin. So tonight, thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, supporting, sharing, commenting, all that you do. And we appreciate it deeply. With that said, let me get the man in here. Let me unmute his microphone here, and we'll get going. As soon as I can find you there. There you are. Welcome, bud. Good morning.
Yeah. Good evening.
Did we have a fun weekend?
Yeah. Surely not boring.
Surely
It's
not
still
boring.
fun.
It's still fun. And we'll just jump right in it because we've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. You're back at the doctor tomorrow. We're still working on that shoulder and arm. And I know everybody will have you in their thoughts and prayers tomorrow. So, but for tonight, well, it's already your tomorrow, but for tonight, for us, we've got a lot to cover. We're going to review the things that have unfolded this weekend, but not rehash them, but show where we're at right now. Of course, the big news, folks, you may or may not know this, but if you're on the Patreon, you do. I sent out an alert. Putin putting out a speech that was going to be a landmark moment for Russia, according to Peskov. And then, of course, Peskov changes and says, no, I didn't say that. But the reality is he did. From there, Putin has went to a meeting with leaders. And I know the questions are, what is Prigozhin doing? Is Shoigu going to be kicked out? All of these things. We're going to try to answer them for you tonight. So, Zhenya, I think we should start with, let's lay the groundwork tonight. I'll translate this. I hear it in my ear, maybe better. I don't know. But let's lay the groundwork with this right here. If people are wondering what's going to happen from here forward, as long as Putin stays in power in office, he's going to answer it right here. Here, I'll play it and I'll translate it.
Вы умеете прощать?
Are you able to forgive?
Да.
Yes.
Но не все.
But not everything.
А что невозможно простить? Предательство.
Oh, what can you not forgive? Betrayal. So, there you have it. That's his statement. Can you forgive? Yes, but not everything. I can't forgive betrayal. Is that what Russia is seeing, Putin seeing that Prigozhin, Wagner did this weekend? Betrayal?
This is what they're posting, commenting. This was a betrayal, and it will be, we cannot ignore it, and we will answer it. We will call it its name. And punish.
And punish. And punish. And we'll talk about that. As of right now, Prigozhin in Belarus, is it confirmed? Is he there?
I don't know. We got his message on the media, but I haven't. Probably, but I don't know.
We don't have a picture of him standing in Minsk.
No.
Okay. And then, of course, the rumors that were flying that Belarus is building camps for the Wagners to rotate there may or may not be happening. Some say it is. Some say it's rumor. We don't know. We don't really know anything, do we?
Yeah, but from
what do we know?
If I don't want to be like too fast, because Putin somehow he pointed at Belarus and Wagner moving there.
He did. So we know that. I hope folks appreciate we try to tell the truth and stay on time with what's going. We're not just going to run with it. These are the things that are out there, but we can't confirm them. Also out there is that Wagner is going to be disbanded, and all of the Wagner will be able to have a contract with the Russian military forces. That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this to lay the groundwork. Putin giving his speech tonight, it was supposed to be like monumental for the history of Russia. How long did it last?
Seems to me 5 minutes, 70 seconds.
And did he say, I've got here what you sent me. It's not even worth showing you folks. We would translate it if it was landmark. He didn't say anything. He said, we're happy that there wasn't bloodshed. He said the organizers of the rebellion, pay attention, the rebellion have betrayed our country and betrayed those who were with them. That's why we showed you the video at the beginning. What can Putin not forgive is betrayal. He also said Wagner rights will be offered a contract with the Russian military. He said if the armed rebellion would have continued, we would have suppressed it or destroyed it anyway. He said the organizers of the rebellion, he didn't call Prigozhin by name, but the organizers, despite losing their mind, understood this. Most of the military of the Wagner are patriots of Russia. They are our brothers in arms. And he thanked military personnel, intelligence officers who stood in the way of the rebellion. Landmark speech.
He said it was rebellion, but as I did promise, we have to remember that the commanders of a lot of commanders of Wagner are heroes.
Are heroes.
So the heroes.
12 planes or 12 aircraft taken out of the air. No. 5 aircraft, 12 pilots, 2 big helicopters, airplanes, but they're heroes.
7 seems to me.
7.
7 aircraft.
Ooh, nice. That's even better. So you sent me a video earlier that you voiced over. I've been traveling all day. You've been traveling. And you sent me a video of really fast talking, like the overview of what happened throughout this weekend in 60 seconds. So I'm going to play that now. Thank you for the voiceover. You're talking so fast in English. I put it in the editor here and I slowed it down just a little bit so that people can catch the English. But in a nutshell, this is what happened in the last 48 hours or so. Here you go.
Our propaganda explains to Russians who are not interested in politics what happened in Russia. If you are still shocked by the events in Russia and do not understand what happened there, here is a brief explanation of logical logic of Russian propaganda. The defenders of Russia decided to seize power in Russia, so the other defenders of Russia flew to destroy the first defenders of Russia. But first defenders killed them first. The hero of Russia, Prigozhin, was going to kill the hero of Russian Shoigu. Because of this, hero of Russian Kadyrov was going to kill the hero of Russia, Prigozhin. And also because of this, the hero of Russia, Portnikov, initiated criminal cases against the hero of Russia, Prigozhin, but immediately closed this case because of the Russians' main hero, Putin, first guaranteed that the traitors would be punished and then guaranteed that they would not. And some first defenders who were killed, no one cares. The main thing is that all are defenders and that all defenders are heroes, and you can continue to be proud of the heroic defenders in Russia.
I'm sorry to laugh, but man, all I want to do is add circus music to that. And I know it's meant to be humorous, but it's telling the truth. Prigozhin's the hero. He attacks the hero Shoigu. Kadyrov, the hero, comes to save Russia from the hero Prigozhin. of course, they all bow down to the hero Putin. It was a brilliant, humorous 60 seconds of the circus, the chaos.
Yeah, but the main thing that this is a picture which was created somehow on the media. That picture, that drawing, like, I mean, for people, because nobody is punished yet. I mean, like in real. So Putin said, as I did promise, nobody will be persecuted from Wagner, but still officially the case which was open still is open, and Prigozhin is somewhere, no confirmation, nothing officially. He's somewhere, and today's speech is like, oh, we will punish, and he never called Prigozhin, and it's some talks that it's a sign that he will create after that he's disappearing from everywhere, because the time ago, the Prigozhin name, time ago on Russian media, it was every time, every day, thousands, Novorossiya, 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 Novorossiya. The idea of Novorossiya and it failed, and then it disappeared. Now you will not hear it. Novorossiya, Novorossiya, Novorossiya. The same with Prigozhin. Probably he will disappear.
What we do know from the speech, Putin said directly he's going to punish those who betrayed.
Yeah, those who betrayed.
It's Prigozhin. What'll happen? You know, of course, the world runs with the rumors, and he's going to be pushed off a balcony or poisoned. That's the typical thing. But something's going to happen, and there's no reason to speculate. We shall see what will unfold. Now, you gave some comments earlier today in Kiev because we were not sure how tonight was going to unfold. I'm going to roll to those now, and then we'll come back and respond to those. This is you just a couple of hours ago in Kiev.
Hello from Ukraine. Hello from Kiev. A couple words about the video. I did recommend it to Pastor Greg. It was with the humor, but this shows the reality in Russia. And when it comes to law supremacy and all the logic in this situation which happened with Prigozhin, in the end, what do we have? Like what Russian people heard explanation, and they have to somehow they did agree, they did admitted it. Everybody from Prigozhin became and still the heroes, even after Putin called him a traitor, and the other journalists, by the way, there is other video, journalist asking Putin, are you able or can you forgive people? He says, yeah, sure, I can, but not all. And he said, what do you mean, but not all? He says, I cannot forgive betray. So when he called Prigozhin traitor, so the story is not finished yet. But what about Shoigu? Shoigu today looks like checking the position on occupied territory of Ukraine, still on his position. What about Kadyrov? Kadyrov showed up the same day, but not the places he promised to go to support. He showed up the same day when it was happened on the edge of Moscow. Still a hero. Prigozhin, after all the promises of Bortnikov, which is the director of Federal Security Service of Russia, The case is not closed, and everything they doing a statement, the Russian government, it means nothing. We haven't heard Margarita Simonyan, which is, and you probably know her, she's a quite famous propagandist of in Russia. What did she comment? She said, "Oh yeah, we know that there is a law, that there is a regulation, and we have to have a law. But when the law doesn't work, sometimes we may skip it." And so, coming to the situation with top supremacy in Russia, doesn't work, and everything that doesn't work. It's the situation is this situation is how that video shows. I mean, commenting. It's a chaos. It's a logical logic of propaganda, and it's no comments on that. It wouldn't be possible to have this kind of answer from society, zero answer, let's say, in Russia. The answer will be later, maybe. And you know that Prigozhin today as well, he showed up. He did comment that they did plan just to show their positions, their disagreement, and now the chaos is still there in Russia, and this is why nobody can have any agreements, sign any contracts with Russia, because it doesn't work. The law doesn't work. The promises doesn't work. All they telling will be lie. And this is why Ukraine will not negotiate anything like this, because there is no one to negotiate, as President Zelensky said. No one to negotiate with. Nobody will keep his word. Nobody will keep his promises or any contact from the Russian side. So this is the enemy we will fight with. And as probably you heard today, this morning from the south, from the Black Sea, they were launching. I think it was the Black Sea. They were launching a couple caliber cruise missiles from a submarine. They're killers, all of them. Different types, different clans, but they're killers. And that's it.
So, Zheka, that's you talking just a while ago. I think that's the point that people need to understand, is that you can't negotiate where there's no rule of law, and you can't trust anything they say, period.
Yeah. A little bit of correction. Like maybe we will come back to this later, but Margarita Simonyan said, if you cannot apply the law, just go against, move it out, go
she said,
without the law.
If it's not the law of Christ or the 10 Commandments, you can do what you want to do. So, speaking of that, that's the video we're referring to. We're referring to the propaganda Simonyan today, and she was with Solovyov, and they're trying to rationalize this in front of the Russian people. So here's what you're talking about, Simonyan.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to say, there's a lot of discussion right now. How's it possible that a criminal case was opened and then Prigozhin was allowed to leave? He went to Belarus. Isn't this a mockery at the normals of law? I want to remind you that legal standards are not the commandments of Christ or the tablets of Moses. Legal standards are written by people. People write legal norms in order to protect the good order and stability of the country. If in some exceptional, critical cases it turns out that legal norms cease to perform their function of protecting law and order and stability, at that point they perform their function backwards. They just go to hell. They don't work because they were written by people who did not anticipate what would happen. The choice was between the bad and the monstrous. That's the way it is for everyone who's ever been in charge of anything. 3 helpers in their own vegetable garden. Every person who has raised children knows that there is a choice between the bad and the monstrous. There can be nothing more terrible than civil confrontation, let alone a violation of any legal norms. So that's the video you're referring to. You know, if it's not Jesus talking or the 10 Commandments, then laws can be changed to suit the situation.
Jesus will not participate negotiation between Ukraine and Russia or Russia and United States, and I mean,
Moses isn't coming either.
Okay, sorry, but if she is not the president of Russia, but she is one of the voices,
major voice
of president,
yes,
on the central official government channels, and it means that this narrative, I mean, or like, let's say, this topic will be used in this philosophy in any future conversations, let's say. This is not a Jesus.
When these top level propagandists such as Semyon and Solovyov are talking, not always their guests that come, but when like that level, they're basically speaking the narrative of the Kremlin. They're like coloring the picture in so that people can understand it. And of course, I mean, we put it in the English there, but if you're not in Russia or you understand Russian, all that's being said and the world knows nothing about it. Nothing. Unless you can understand the language. These crazy people, these crazy systems, you made another statement about that a couple hours ago.
This is why it's a big question why it is still possible that Russia, being a member of so many international institutions, and because everything they tell inside Russia and outside, they're breaking all their promises. It's not a country which is regulated by the law, because the law is ambitions. At this moment, President Putin and his generals, this is like a disease at this moment which Russia trying to spread on the whole world and threatening the world with the nuclear to stop the resistance for spreading this disease.
So your statement there fit perfectly coming behind the translation of Semyon. It's out of control, chaos, and they only do what suits themselves, and they threaten the rest of the world. And they still sit at the UN.
It's a nuclear country. Number 2 in the world. Russia.
Yes, and I remind you that for the month of April, they were sitting as the president. It rotates monthly of the UN Security Council just 60 days ago.
And when it comes to the security, let's say, for the world, like any guarantees not using the nuclear, it's not a Jesus signed the promises of not using the nuclear. Like,
you can't believe it.
It's, I mean, yeah.
You're leading me here. You're leading me right here. Speaking of nuclear, Zelensky talking about Zaporozhye, and he gives a warning to the world about exactly what we're talking about. Now, regarding Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, I remind those who have forgotten this is the largest nuclear plant in all of Europe ever run in the world. The IAEA and all the countries, all the leaders know exactly what is going on there. Russia is using Zaporozhye as an element of its aggression. It's occupying that plant. It covers up by shelling neighboring cities. It keeps weapons and the military there. And now our intelligence has received information that Russia is considering a scenario of an act of terror at the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. An act of terror with a release of radiation. They have prepared everything for that. Unfortunately, I've already had to make numerous reminders that radiation doesn't know state borders. And who it will strike is only determined by the wind direction. We pass all the available information to our partners, to everyone in the world, all the proof that we have: Europe, America, China, Brazil, India, the Arabian world, Africa, all the countries, absolutely all of them must know this. International organizations, absolutely everyone. There must never be any acts of terror on nuclear plants anywhere. This time, it must not be like with Kakhovka. The world has been warned, so the world can and must act. Geruim Slava. So that's the story. And you know, I'm going to show a couple more clips here as we close out tonight. But you know, we've come a long way since late Friday night and early Saturday morning when we were getting all the hate mail that we were wrong and the war's going to be over in 24 hours because Prigozhin was going to Moscow and he was going to overthrow Putin, and Putin got on a plane and he's going to his bunker. And that changed Saturday afternoon, as we knew it would. And now here we are 48 hours later, Putin addressing Russia, Russia talking about just madness. Nobody knows where Prigozhin is officially. Yes, he made a statement. Zelensky continuing to talk about Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, and specifically tonight saying, I'm warning the world. I'm warning them. That's where we're at.
Yeah, and I believe now it's a time for the world leaders to answer. Because in the 2014, it was ignored. The situation with Crimea.
Let me ask you a
It
question.
was ignored by Merkel and that time Barack Obama.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you heard of any public phone calls that Joe Biden or Macron or Sunak or any of these other guys that are supposed to be powerful Western leaders have called Zelensky in the last 24 hours and said, hey, just so you know, we're with you. We're against Prigozhin. We're against Putin and all the stuff they're doing. Have you anything? I haven't seen anything. Have you?
I heard about the calls and official support from Uganda to Russia, from North Korea, from China somehow, from Turkey, and
Iran.
and Sunak. No, not Sunak.
No.
India.
Modi
seems to me. Iran. Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
All of this unfolded, and the world, it hit all the headlines finally Friday night and Saturday. Oh my goodness, Russia's being overthrown. La, 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 la. Here we are 48 hours later. Zelensky's phone, for the most part, is quiet. In fact, I know it's quiet because today he was down on the southern front spending time with soldiers on the front lines. That's where Zelensky was today. And then he's putting out warnings about Zaporozhye. And just like Jania said, Xi from China calling Putin saying, we're standing with you, buddy. Erdogan, Turkey, NATO folks calling Putin, we're standing with you, buddy. We're not into this coup d'etats. We're standing with you. And the list goes on, as Jania had, and we had discussed. This is where we're at. A big adjustment from Saturday morning when everybody was jumping up and down. Now, after Putin made his speech, and this is where we'll close, he then called a late night meeting where he was meeting with security forces. So, Zhenya, I want to show one little clip here first, just so that people in the world can understand how the Russian media works, because they don't have a clue. They really don't. So, Putin has made this big speech, 5 minutes long, where he said nothing. And now they're going to this top secret meeting in the Kremlin, and the defense minister's coming and secretaries are coming. And what happens? Putin's pet reporter stands there and says, "Look who's over my shoulder." Check this out.
Мы с вами видим, что в этом совещании участвуют глава президентской администрации, генеральный прокурор, министр обороны, секретарь Совета безопасности, директор Федеральной службы безопасности, директор Федеральной службы охраны, министр внутренних дел, глава Росгвардии и глава Следственного комитета России. Следим вместе с вами за событиями.
They're all here for a meeting. Everybody be quiet. And then Putin.
Уважаемые коллеги, добрый день, добрый вечер.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Собрал вас для того, чтобы поблагодарить за проделанную работу.
Oh, I want to thank you for everything that you've done. Look, there's Shoigu sitting. He's not saying nothing but thanking them for what they're done for securing Russia.
Которая сложилась на данный момент времени. А также поговорить по задачам, которые перед нами стоят в результате анализа тех событий, которые...
So we go to this secret meeting, and there's the Zarubin standing there going, "You're the guys." Then Putin sits down. "Good evening. Thank you for all that you're doing, guys." And, you know, the world's screaming, "Oh, Shoigu, he's gone." Well, he may be, but I saw him sitting right there, right, in a suit and tie. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And the truth is, we continue going, because our goal is the borders of 1991, and our goal is to stop Russia with its attempts to destroy not just Ukraine.
As we close, and stand as a shield for the world, even though the world doesn't understand that. We can tell you that Ukraine's taken some territory back down here near Veliki Novosilka. Down below Orikhiv, this is where we've done a lot of work. Down below Zaporozhye here. Zaporizhia, for those of you that yell at me for not speaking Ukrainian. I don't speak Ukrainian. I try, but I'm sorry. They yell at me. It's Zaporizhia, not Zaporozhye. Sorry, I've said Zaporozhye for 25 years. Little bit here above, north of Bakhmut, south of Bakhmut, touch here north of Avdiivka. But folks, we got a long way to go, and the world needs to stand together, because all of that red you see there is Ukrainian territory, and that's where we're at. So we do our best, folks. We stay patient. We tell you the truth, and as of tonight, June the 26th, my father's birthday. Happy birthday, Father, 72.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday from Ukraine. So that's where we're at up to the moment. And if anything changes, we'll be here. And if not, we'll see you Wednesday night, the next update. All right, buddy. Thank you. And hope your daughter's appointment goes well tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, all the partners and all the people who support Ukraine. Thank you.
Did your arms work?
Yeah.
Let's see that heart. People love the heart. There it is, folks. Not from Levi's, but from Ukraine.
Oh, sorry. From Ukraine.
All right, guys. Be blessed. We'll see you in 48 hours. See you on Patreon and everywhere else. If something happens before, we'll be here for sure. It's going at a much different pace right now, and anything can happen. So be blessed. See you soon.